one click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
What do I do when my account is compromised? That's the number one question I get from folks. And that question has been increasing in frequency with all of the attacks against Facebook and all these other social media sites over the last couple of weeks. In a lot of cases, once your account is compromised, there's not a whole lot you can do except what I jokingly say, drink and pray, and not necessarily in that order. But there are a few things you can do. One is, typically when your social media account gets compromised, the good news is it typically isn't directly related to financial data. Most social media accounts don't have your bank account information, they don't have credit card data, they don't have financial information. So that's the positive. The negative is they have all of your personal data, and that personal data can be used to now target your financial accounts and go in and target you from a phishing perspective. So basically, when your social media accounts get compromised, name, address, phone number, favorite pet, and things like that, that just means you're a bigger target. Couple things I recommend you do. One, contact your bank and see if there's additional security you can add on. Most banks have additional security measures that are there if you ask, but are not turned on by default. For example, you should go in and specify that no money transfers are allowed unless they actually get in writing verification from you in person. Most banks by default, if they get verbal confirmation or email confirmation, they will do electronic fund transfers, but you want to go in and say, no, unless I come in and sign a form, don't transfer the money. And for most people that should be fine, because honestly, when was the last time you really did an EFT? Most people hardly ever do this, if any, so going in and putting those extra restrictions in place isn't really that a big deal. Also, two-factor. Make sure for your bank account, make sure for your credit cards that you're going in and adding in that two-factor authentication. With your credit cards, make sure you're getting real-time charge notifications. That's what I do. That means whenever somebody uses your credit card in any store to do a purchase, you get a text, and then you have 30 seconds to approve it, and if you don't approve it, it's denied. Now, the good part is, if you're making the purchase, you know that you're going to get the text and you have your phone ready. If somebody else does an unauthorized purchase, even if you're in a meeting and you don't reply in 30 seconds, it will be denied. So there's a lot of things you can put in place. Also, with phishing attacks, most of us, if we get an email and it's from a friend or a family member, and they know things about us, they know our vacation, they know things like that, we're more likely to reply. Well, guess what? When your social media accounts gets compromised, they now know that information. So they can send a much more personal, directed email that looks legitimate that you're more likely to click on. So when you hear about these social media attacks and your personal data is exposed, contact the bank, contact the credit card companies, turn on additional security, but also be super careful of any email. Recognize that there's an increased threat and be super careful before you click on a link or open an attachment. And your best bet is do out-of-band verification. If you think the email's legitimate, text somebody, call somebody, do not click, and your best bet is delete. So you need to be prepared. Your social media accounts will be compromised, you will be a target, and you just have to have a ready plan ready to go to be able to protect and secure your information, and make sure you proactively talk to all of the financial institutions you deal with to put proper security in place.